Now, throughout the match in the Champions League final, Real Madrid used a 4-3-3 shape with a lot of flexibility and fluidity, especially through their midfielders. So here we can see the basic movements among their players, with their two central defenders supporting their goalkeeper and favoring a wider position in the half spaces, but going closer towards the wide area. Then as we look into the three central midfielders, we have Casemiro, with his natural tendency to play much higher up the field than what we would expect from a solid holding midfielder, and favoring movements towards the right-hand side. Then we have Toni Kroos complementing this movement by dropping deeper in the left half space, often acting as a single pivot when Casemiro would go higher. And on the right-hand side, we have Luka Modric with a very free role, starting higher up the field from his two midfield counterparts, often playing between the lines, but also having the fluidity to drop deeper, releasing Carvajal in the wide area as the right fullback, and allowing Valverde to invert between the lines. This inverting from Valverde and dropping from Benzema between the lines often gave them some of their forward threat when their midfielders did drop deeper. Now on the left-hand side, we have both Vinicius Jr. and Mendy creating width, trying to stretch Liverpool's defensive shape wider and threaten in behind with mid-range and long-range passes from Courtois from the build-up. So when Liverpool would play in their high block, they would also implement a 4-3-3, but this became very asymmetric, and the right and left build-up from Real Madrid posed different problems for this defensive setup from Liverpool. So as we see, Trent Alexander-Arnold would jump higher up the field and would be then covered by Konate and Liverpool's back line, which then would take an asymmetric approach, going with a defensive setup that would use numerical equality at the back. This would put Konate in a wider area and often pair Van Dijk against Benzema or Fabinho against Benzema, depending on how far Benzema would drop between the lines. And with Trent Alexander-Arnold jumping higher, it put him in a better position to cover Mo Salah when Mo Salah would go and press in an inverted fashion, trying to block off the wide area. But on the left-hand side, as we'll look at, it left them a little bit exposed to then being progressed and broken from Real Madrid using numerical superiority. Now we'll look at movement from Toni Kroos dropping alongside Casemiro in one variation in their midfield movement. This is where Casemiro drops to the right-hand side and maintains his position as a holding midfielder and does not go higher. So when the ball is played, we have a typical Liverpool press with Mo Salah trying to block the wide area, Trent Alexander-Arnold jumping to then go and cover the press using man orientation in the midfield, Henderson jumping to Toni Kroos, Fabinho going to the ball side to support the press, with Mane using his cover shadow to block access to the weak side holding midfielder, and Thiago covering that aspect of the press as well. So a very well-balanced press on this right-hand side that often led to Real Madrid playing longer passes into Benzema or playing longer passes trying to get Vinicius Jr. in behind. So not many routes to progress the ball in Real Madrid's build-up, and they often did go long, especially from Courtois. So that's on the left-hand side. Now on the right-hand side, we see more opportunities for Real Madrid to then be able to use their quality in possession with more numerical advantages. So as the ball is played to the right-hand side, we now see Casemiro going higher up the field as he naturally would in most instances in possession for Real Madrid. This would then overload Fabinho with Benzema and Casemiro both occupying Fabinho, making him ineffective when he could then go and jump. So by pinning Fabinho, this would then cause a lot of problems for Liverpool when they would go and press that weren't really exploited from Real Madrid. We have Modric playing his free role, often acting as a link from his central defender to the wide area or other areas of the pitch, because when Diaz would press, he would try and use his cover shadow just like Mo Salah would to block the wide area. Now Diaz was less effective in his pressing and often made technical mistakes when using his cover shadow, which left them open to be progressed against on this right-hand side. But Mane would also still play his natural role, but with Casemiro going higher, he would then take up Toni Kroos, which would sometimes cause problems if Jordan Henderson was already jumping to Toni Kroos. So there would be a little bit of opportunity for confusion in that area. But as we see here, we have Valverde inverting as well, and a lot of space in this right-hand wide area for the buildup of Real Madrid, which they didn't exploit very much. They were much more comfortable playing through the left-hand side and trying to progress on the left rather than looking to play and create numerical advantages on this right-hand side and exploit the space.